and welcome to episode 74 of the Giddy Knits podcast. As always, I'm Helen and I am coming to you from a rainy Dundee in Scotland, where I live with my husband Tom and my two boys, Arthur, who is 6, and Jasper, who is 3. For anyone that doesn't know, although I'm pretty sure most of you do, I am the dyer behind Giddy Yarns, and this is a crafting podcast. I'm going to go with that this week. Generally mostly knitting that I talk about, occasionally crochet, occasionally the odd other craft gets chucked in there as well. Basically whatever I am working on at the moment. Today is Wednesday the 30th of September. I am a couple of days late recording this week because it's been a busy week. As I mentioned last week, we've got quite a lot of life stuff going on, which I will talk about at the end of the episode. But I am also in the middle of dyeing all the advent calendars as well, and that takes a lot of time and it's a bit chaotic at the moment, so hence I'm a few days late recording. What else did I need to say? I feel like my room's echoing for some reason, which is strange because there's no more or less stuff in it. Talking of the advent calendars, just out of shot here are 4 massive boxes where I'm trying to organise all the mini skeins, and also loads of bits that I haven't skeined up yet, and also stuff drying on the airers. So yeah, advents are all just out of stock. Maybe the advents are bouncing sound back at me. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling. Hello, did I say that bit? No. Hello and welcome. Welcome to anyone that is a regular viewer and is back again. And thank you very much for coming back and for checking out the podcast again. And I don't know what I'm trying to say. Thank you for being my loyal viewers. Sounds a bit like I'm royal, my royal subjects, my royal viewers, my loyal viewers is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm again rambling. Hello to anyone that is new. This rambling is quite common, so get used to it. I know, hello to anyone that is new. If you have come over here from somewhere else to check out the podcast, thank you so much. I really hope you enjoy it. If you haven't done so far, then if you'd like to, please consider liking the video by giving it a thumbs up down below and hitting the subscribe button. I don't often mention that. Pretty much any video that my 6-year-old features in, it will be mentioned. He will tell you to make sure that you like and subscribe. But I fail to mention it most regularly. But if you haven't done so far and you would like to, then please hit the subscribe button down below. And if you hit the little bell icon, I'm not sure which side of the screen it's going to be on. Probably this side actually. If you hit the bell icon, then you'll get notifications every time I upload a video. And leave me comments. I like to chat to you all. I have not got back to comments from the last video, which is actually appalling considering I've just said to leave me comments. I will probably sit down and do that while I'm editing this video. But yeah, I love to read your comments. I love to chat back to you. And yeah, anyway, that's that. What have I got for you this week? Let's move into that, shall we? I'm going to start with a little bit of admin, talk about our make-alongs, and then I've got a finished object to share with you. I haven't actually got any works in progress as such. I tend to refer to works in progress as things you've already seen, but I do have some new cast-ons, so that's exciting. I'm going to talk a little bit about blankets as well. I've got a little bit of yarny goodness to share this week. I'm going to have a quick shop news chat, although I have forgotten to bring over the shop news stuff that I wanted to share, so I will have to grab that shortly. And then I'm going to finish up with a little bit of life news as well at the end. So let's get into it. And put my cup of tea down. Admin wise, we have got 2 make-alongs running. There is the Giddy Yarns make-along, which is my ongoing make-along for kind of any project. Can't talk this week, can I? Any project that uses my yarn. As long as you use 50% Giddy Yarns, then it's eligible to be entered. It's kind of my way of giving back to my customers out there, because you are in with the chance to win prizes every quarter. And the next quarter is coming to an end today, in fact, I think, 30th of September today. So yeah, so I won't announce the prize winners on this episode because obviously I want to give people a chance to get any entries in today. But I will pop a comment into the thread shortly sort of, well, tomorrow probably, I'll pop a comment into the threads just to say this is the end of the quarter. And then I will draw prize winners and announce them on the next episode. But the make along is ongoing, as I said. So if you haven't quite made it in to the thread today, then don't worry about it, because you can enter for the next quarter, which will obviously be drawn at the end of December. Although, to be fair, for that one, I probably won't draw the prizes until the beginning of January, just because of New Year and Christmas and all of that kind of thing. Although goodness knows where we're going to be for Christmas this year at the moment. Right, so that's that one. We also have the Halloween make-along running, the 3rd annual Giddy Yarns Halloween make-along. I do love our Halloween make-along. It's always such fun to see what projects you all come up with. And as I'm sure you'll know if you're a regular viewer, I have a real soft spot for Halloween. So any project that you can link in some way to Halloween, horror, supernatural, magic, anything like that, counts. Any fibre related craft, so you can, I think I've said knitting, crochet mostly. Anyway, all the rules will be down below, where the show notes are, in the drop down thing underneath the video. I didn't say actually, both of the knit alongs can be entered on Ravelry in our Ravelry group, which again should be linked down below under the video. And also, because of Ravelry's accessibility issues at the moment, we also have hashtags that you can enter on Instagram. So you can enter the Giddy Yarns knit along or make along using the hashtag Giddy Yarns FO. And you can also enter the Halloween make along using the hashtag GY Halloween MAL for make along FO. And by all means, use the GY Halloween MAL hashtag to share your progress. And if I spot it, I will share it in my stories as well, because that's always fun. Right, the Halloween MAL is running until the 1st of November. And there are prizes. I haven't actually worked out what prizes I will be donating yet, but we did get a prize in the post this week from the lovely Debbie at Down Sheepy Lane. Has sent a prize along, and she has sent one of her socks in a box kits. This is from her recent shop update. So these are her Halloween ones. It says stripe your own sock box, Nightmare Before Christmas. So you get 5 10-gram minis in each of her Nightmare Before Christmas colours. So the Pumpkin King, Sally, the Mayor, and Oogie Boogie, and Lock, Shock and Barrel. And then you get 1 20-gram mini in her coal colourway. So obviously the idea is that you can use the 20 grams for heels, toes and cuffs, and then you can use the 10 grams to create stripes. Kind of do your own scrappy socks style thing. She also includes tutorials for joining the yarn as well, which is really helpful. So yeah, you get the little information thing in there. And this one is a mix of BFL and bamboo. So I will keep that nice and safe for you. So that is one of our lovely prizes. So thank you so much, Debbie, for donating that. That's amazing. I'm really, really jealous because I really want one of these. But I am having to be quite good at the moment because, well, I will explain why I'm having to be quite good at the moment in life news. Anyway, so that is our lovely prize. I have got a couple of other prizes that have been offered as well. So when I have those, I will share them with you, and of course there will be Giddy Yarns prizes too. Right, let's move on to some finished objects, shall we? I have got a finished object. I finished my birthday socks. Now, having just mentioned Debbie's sock boxes, this is like the kind of thing you could do with them. I've used 20 grams to do cuffs, heels and toes in one colour, and then I've used more minis, but it wouldn't matter, but anyway. And then I've done scrappy socks in the middle. Anyway, I'm really all over the place this week, aren't I? Apologies if you are new. This isn't quite normal. So these are what I'm calling my birthday socks, because I cast them on my birthday using some yarn that I bought myself as a little bit of a birthday present. The yarn I'm using is from Kate Celine. She does like pick and mix lucky dip bags, I think she calls them, where you can choose various numbers of however many minis and what weight of mini and stuff like that you'd want, and then you just get like a lucky dip and they're all in bags. I got 10 gram minis. I was a little unlucky because I did get a duplicate of this one. So I had these 8 minis and then I had 2 of this one here. But in the end, I wasn't too worried because actually what I've done then is, because I've had 20 grams of this one, as I just said, I've used that one for the cuffs, heels and toes. And then I've used the other 8 minis to create my kind of blocks of colour down the leg. So I really enjoyed these. They were really, really fun. I did a little bit of I don't know if it's got an official name, but it's kind of my method of joining. Let's see if I can find a section where it shows quite clearly. There'll be one somewhere. It's kind of my method of joining, yeah, here you go, of joining colours when I'm doing scrappy socks. So what I tend to do is, I don't know if you can see just here, it kind of shows you. What I tend to do is I will hold 2 yarns together and I will alternate the tails. So I will hold the main colour and then I'll alternate the tails of the other 2. So I'll do 1 stitch holding the like this colour together, and then 1 stitch holding this colour and the tail of this colour together. 1 stitch holding both of these, 1 stitch holding one of each, if that makes sense. So you can kind of just see how it's almost like a little bit of stranded colour work there. But I find that works quite well because it means I can weave the tails in as I change the colour as well. And then when I'm finished, all I have to do is just snip off the ends where those colours have been woven in as I've knitted. And it seems to work quite well for me. Right, so yeah, that's a nice finished pair of socks, which is good because I was starting to feel like I had too many pairs of socks on the needles. I also finished my the Advent sock that I was talking about on the last episode. I finished one of those. I haven't done anything apart from the cuff of the second one, and I probably won't for a little while, but I just wanted to get one finished so that I could confirm the order of the colours for the advent calendars, and I'm really, really happy with that. I also finished off the cowl that I was sharing last week, and I did what I said last week where I didn't actually finish it with all 24. I've just added the next colour in the sequence and cast it off, and actually Jasper is in love with it and he's wearing it at nursery today, so that's been quite good. He's got a nice little random cowl out of it, and I've managed to work out my advent calendars properly for the shop, and I am happy with the order of them. Right, as I said, I didn't have any works in progress because I've been working on lots of new things, but I have had a bit of a cast on party this week. I wanted to get some samples started in a couple of different things, and I also wanted to start on some gift knitting. So I have cast on a hat, and I have plans for lots of hats, and they're all living in this bag. And this bag will probably get used all the way up till Christmas because it is a Nightmare Before Christmas bag. So Halloween and Christmas all in one. So I've cast on, in fact, I'm going to talk to you about everything that's in here. I've only cast on one, and I'll only be doing them one at a time because I haven't got enough needles. But the first one that I've cast on, you can't see a lot of. I've just finished the brim, whatever you want to call it. And I've just started the body of the hat, and then I remembered that I needed to change needles, and I didn't have the right size needles because Tom is using them in a jumper that he's currently knitting for Arthur. So I have ordered some 4mm, 40cm needles, and they should be arriving soon. But you might recognise these colourways. These are the 2 colourways that I was using for the Verso hat, but I ripped them out. So this is one of my, they're both one of mine. This is Mistral and this is Hoarfrost, and they're both on my Merino DK base. And I am knitting not that one. I am knitting the Thin Hat. Here we go. By Amanda Long. So this is the Thin Hat. I get black and white picture, so apologies, it's not the best example. I'm knitting this version where you get two stripes of the contrast and then 1 stripe of the main colour. And yeah, it's by Amanda Long, who is Miss Mandy Lou on Instagram, and all the proceeds from this pattern are donated to Cancer Research. So it's a really good kind of charity pattern as well. So yeah, that's my plan for that one. And then I have plans for 2 other hats. I've dug out a couple of bits of yarn. So this is actually leftovers. I've got about 60 grams here. This is Dye Candy DK weight. Again, this is a merino nylon DK though, in the codename lavender colourway. And in that one, I am knitting, oh, I don't know that I've got pictures of these. If I haven't, I'll put pictures up on the screen. I haven't. I am knitting the gathered hat, which is a tin can knits pattern. And I'll put a picture one side or other up on the screen so you can see what it actually looks like. But I think with 60 grams, I should just about have enough to get a hat out of that. And then that might go as a gift to somebody, because I also knit a pair of fingerless mitts out of this. So maybe I could combine them both and make them a little gift. And then the third one that I've dug out, and again, I think I'm probably going to have to put a picture up on the screen. Yeah, there's no picture on. I didn't print out the picture pages because our printer ink was getting low. So then the third hat I'm casting on, I'm going to be using this colourway here. This is, oh, it's got dust on it. I dropped it down behind the sofa yesterday. So I'm using this colourway here, and this is actually one of my Nostalgia Club ones. So this was my 1960s Nostalgia Club colourway at Psychedelia, and I've got it on the DK base. So this is going to be another hat, and this is going to be the Imply hat by Hunter Hammersman. See if the name's on there. No, I'm pretty sure it is. I'll pop it on the screen. I'll put the picture on the screen, and all the details of where the pattern can be found and stuff will be in the show notes as well. So lots and lots of hat knitting plans. Let me just stick everything back in that bag. There we go. Right. So that's my first kind of cast on, is a new hat. And then I've also cast on a new shawl, which is living in this bag from Eldenwood Craft. Love this bag. And then this is the Raven shawl. Now, again, I've not got great pictures of this at all. No, I don't think I've even printed the front page, so I haven't got a good picture. So again, I'll try and put a picture on the screen for you so that you can see. But this is designed by Liz Ward Crochet, who is the... she has a podcast as well. She is the Yarn Waffle podcast on YouTube. And she very, very kindly gifted me this pattern when I was talking about wanting to knit a sample shawl using my new BFL silk blend. And she very, very kindly gifted me the pattern, and do you know, I think it's going to work really, really well. It's a simple triangular, I'm all attached to everything. It's a simple triangular shawl, garter stitch triangular shawl, but it features, obviously not at the moment, but as I get further into the shawl, it features stripes and also eyelet sections. So I'm working it in 2 colours. So this is the first one. So this is my amethyst colourway. I think it's probably going to come up a little bit more blue on the camera. Camera struggles with purples and blues sometimes, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm really, really, really enjoying the colourway. It's exactly kind of what I was going for when I dyed these. I call these colourways my kind of speckled tonals. So as you can see, it's very much a tonal colourway, but it does have really kind of subtle speckles in there. So if you're not a fan of big in-your-face speckles, but you like a little bit of tonality, you like a little bit of depth to your colour, then these work really, really well, because you still get a nice kind of effect without it being too over-the-top speckled. So this is my amethyst colourway, and I'm going to be pairing it with this one here, which is my emerald colourway. And I think they're going to contrast really, really, really nicely. So I'm quite pleased with my colour choices, and I'm looking forward to the shawl. It's very, very simple at the moment. It's a great kind of just mindless, relaxing knit so far. So I'm looking forward to getting a bit more done on it. I have absolutely no imagination that it's going to be It's going to be, oh my goodness, that sentence made no sense at all, did it? I have no expectations that it's going to be finished anytime soon. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I am not very good at finishing big projects quickly. But I kind of want it because this base hasn't sold very well in the shop, and it is a luxury base, so it isn't particularly cheap. It's quite expensive, but it is so gorgeous. I really can't describe quite how drapey and how soft this base is. It's absolutely stunning. But I do think that it's one that really needs to be felt, and it really needs a decent sample for shows so that people can kind of feel how amazing it is. So that's my kind of thing, that if 2021 shows go ahead, then I'll hopefully have this as a sample for those so that people can actually feel how amazing this base is. Anyway, rambling, that's the Raven Shawl. And then the other new cast on I had, is my Halloween project, which I haven't got very far on. So I have cast on a pair of Halloween socks using one of my Goosebumps sock blanks. And I am just knitting a pair of shorty socks, actually. So I'm getting close to the heel of these. So I'm kind of knitting the Rose City roller socks, but I'm not knitting the Rose City roller socks because I knit 68 stitches, which isn't the size that's in the pattern. And I'm not knitting a heel flap and gusset, which is what's in the pattern. So I'm basically knitting a shorty sock using the number of stitches that I usually use, the heel that I usually use, but I'm doing the rolled over top instead of a cuff, basically. So it's kind of the Rose City roller socks, but I'm really not really following the pattern. But I am doing a slightly longer kind of cuff as well, because the short row heel that I tend to use, the German short row heel, so my eye's really watering now. The German short row heel that I tend to use is shorter than a heel flap and gusset sock, so you need a little bit more length before you start the heel. But yeah, that's how it is knitting up so far. I'm really enjoying working from the sock blank. As you can see, if you've not worked from a sock blank before, you are knitting with crinkly yarn, and you literally just pull straight from the sock blank as you're knitting, and it unravels as you go. But they're really fun. They're a little bit of a novelty, but they're so much fun to knit with that it's great. And then this is kind of how it's knitting up so far. So I'm really enjoying that, and hopefully it will get a little bit more work put on it this week. So that is all my new cast-ons, apart from one. Now, I said I wanted to talk about blankets, didn't I? I've started a new blanket because I really needed another blanket on the needles or on the hook, didn't I? But I was so close to finishing Arthur's blanket that I just thought I really want to start a new one. And the minis for the new one were just building up and up and up, and it was kind of starting to stress me out that I had all these minis and all these scraps set aside for it and they weren't doing anything. So I thought, well, if I actually start the blanket, then hopefully it won't stress me out as much. So I have started the Hexagon blanket that I have been talking about for absolutely ages. I've only just started it, so I am kind of 3 hexagons in. And here it is. So basically what I'm doing is I started with this one as a test hexagon, and I wanted to work out how much yarn, what size hexagon I could get out of 10 grams of yarn. So these hexagons are 9 rounds, and they use just under 10 grams of yarn. You don't get a lot. So this one, for example, I think I had 10 grams of yarn. And I've also used this to join, but literally that's kind of what I've got left. So yeah, they use pretty much 10 grams of yarn. And I thought that was great because what I wanted was to have kind of a 20-gram mini skein and to not end up, because 20-gram mini skeins are great. I love 20-gram mini skeins, and I love the fact that you can do quite a lot with them. But I wanted something that was going to use up significantly more yarn from minis. because like my Cozy Memories blanket uses less than 5 grams a square, and then other blankets, you know, often it's kind of 5 grams that you need, and then you still end up with loads and loads and loads of leftovers, which there's nothing wrong with. But I like the idea that actually what I could do is I could get 10 grams in this, 5 grams in my Cozy Memory blanket, and then still have 5 grams set aside to either put in scrappy socks or to use in swaps and things like that. So yeah, so 10 grams is my plan, and I'm literally just joining them as I go. I'm not going to border them or anything like that. I just want it to be the colours all playing next to each other straight away. And then what else was I going to say about this? I'm also going to join it as I go so that I don't have a load of hexagons to join at the end. Yeah, and I'm going to be a little bit more careful. Well, I haven't decided. I was going to be a lot more careful about colours and just kind of pick kind of more muted colours. And then I thought to myself, well, I was also planning to put the Nostalgia Club in here. And actually the Nostalgia Club colours are not that muted. So maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just be more careful with this, and maybe I'll do something else with the Nostalgia Club colours, or I don't know. Thoughts? Do I do something different with the Nostalgia Club? So the lovely Rachel of my brain's gone dead. Ravenclaw, Rachel? I should know this. Why do I not know this? Anyway, she is the designer of the sock set Shawlette, which I've knit in the past, and she has also just designed a blanket square, which I saw on Instagram the other day, which I really like. It features kind of 5 minis, so you have a central square, and then it almost turns it into a square with extra minis coming off the edge. She says she's still just working out how to join them and things like that, but I think that would be amazing with things like the Nostalgia Club, where you've got 5 minis that you kind of want to keep together because they're all within a theme, but you also want to put them in a blanket. So part of me is like, well, maybe if I just hold out until she's released that pattern, I could do that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm really rambling this week. New blanket is in progress, and it's a blanket, so it's going to be a ridiculously long-term project. You're going to get to see it every so often when I've made some progress on it, but I have really enjoyed starting it, and I have a bag full of yarn that has been set aside specifically for it. Right, so that is all of my kind of crafty content, but I did have a little bit of yarny goodness to share with you this week. Before I said that I can't buy any more yarn for a little while because of life news, I had bought a couple of bits and pieces. So first of all, the big thing, my mystery gem from Gemma at the Little Grey Girl arrived. This is her club. She teams up with dyers throughout the year, and you get a quarterly delivery, and I signed up for the whole year. So this is the mystery gem, and in fact Gem has just had an amazing shop update, which again I haven't been able to shop, so go and shop it for me. Hang on, that didn't sound right. I didn't mean go and shop it for me, I meant go and shop it and let me live vicariously through you shopping her shop update. That's kind of what I meant, not anyway. Here we go. So this, if you haven't received your mystery gem yet, or you haven't opened your mystery gem, then obviously don't look, but this is this month. Absolutely gorgeous. I love her packaging, and it always comes with one of her bags. So it always comes with a mood board. So this was the mood board for this month. It is that's the wrong way around, isn't it? There we go. It's the Rainforest edition, so you get kind of a mood board and everything works around that. And this is the bag for this month. This is my favourite of her bags, her small sock bag. I love this size. But yeah, gorgeous Rainforest fabric. I love that sloth. Very, very cool. And then the dyer that she teamed up with this month was the Fibre Fox. And this is the gorgeous yarn that she dyed. And this is a DK, Plumpy DK, 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And it also came with a lovely pom-pom. So that's got to be a hat, hasn't it? This might also be an imply hat, actually. I might knit 2 of them. We'll see how time goes. But yeah, that's gorgeous. And then you also get a little sachet of soak as well. So I love these boxes. I just love the combination that she always puts together, and the fact that the yarn and the bag always go together really well. And you know me, I love gem and everything that she creates. So that is the mystery gem. And then I also ordered a few minis. Ovis Yarns was having a little update of her mini club. So she does a mini club, which she does like a geeky mini club, and I didn't sign up for the mini club, but she had some spares left over, which she popped in her shop. So I grabbed some of these ones, and I think these were just these 10-gram minis. Yes, 10-gram minis, and these are her Witcher ones. I just thought they were really fun, and they'll go really nicely in my Cozy Memories blanket, or I might even, although actually, what is it? No, it's 100%. It's 100% BFL, and it is quite high twist, so they could be socks actually, but they'll probably go in my blanket. So they are really, really fun. So that is Becky at Ovis Yarns. She does, she specialises in fact, it says on the back, there you go, grown, spun and dyed in the UK. So she specialises in British yarn bases. And then I also did a month of Laura at Bumbling Yarns, or Crafter's Farm as she is more regularly known. She has just started doing some little scrappy mini club kind of thing. And I went for the 5-gram option. So there's 10 5-gram mini skeins here. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to show you these. But she does them all in little balls like this. And she's a very new dyer. She dyes as Bumbling Yarns. She's better known as Crafter's Farm. But she is also the Lonely Knitter podcast. And I just love these little cute minis. So yeah, and I won't do the club monthly, I'm sure, but every once in a while, when I just want to have some extra minis to add into my blanket or anything like that, I think it's a great idea. And she offers a variety of different weights as well, so you could have like 10 grams, 10 20 grams, 10 5 grams. I think there's a real mix, and it's just a completely random mix of colours, which I really liked. So that's it. That is all my yarny goodness. There won't be much more yarny goodness over the next couple of months, probably. Maybe by Christmas, we'll see. Anyway, so shop news. Right, I'm going to pause quickly now, and I am going to grab the bits that I wanted to share for shop news quickly. Okay, there wasn't a lot of shop news that I wanted to share, but I had a little impromptu shop update on Saturday, so there are a few bits and pieces in the shop. I think there are 3 of these scrappy boxes left in the shop at the moment, and the scrappy boxes are just my opportunity to have a bit of fun. So they're one of a kind. I don't write down a recipe, I don't write anything down while I'm doing them. I just kind of throw dye in the pots, and whatever comes out is my scrappy box. But they're really good fun. They're a good opportunity for me to try things a little bit differently. They're a good opportunity for me to just have fun, basically. And you get 5 10-gram minis, and they come in a little box. So if you buy them on their own, they're cheaper postage because they'll go through your letterbox. They go large letter. If you buy them with anything else, they still come in a box, so they've got a nice little bit of presentation. So that is those. And then the rest of it was sock blanks. So I restocked the Toil and Trouble sock blanks, which are these ones. So these are one of my Halloween ones, inspired by kind of Macbeth and the witch's speech in Macbeth. And then I also restocked my Goosebumps ones, which is the ones that I'm knitting my socks with. And then I dyed up 2 new sock blanks. So we've got an autumnal sock blank, which is this one here. So this is, I'm calling it Forever Autumn, which is a reference to the song, which I've forgotten the name of the person who did the song, but it's the song that was used in the War of the Worlds radio show. I don't know if anybody remembers that. We listened to it lots when I was a kid. My dad absolutely loved it, and we had it on, I must have had it on record actually, we had it on vinyl. Yeah, I used to love it. I really want to listen to it again now. But the song Forever Autumn was included in that, so it seemed the perfect name. So yeah, that's Forever Autumn. And then I also have a festive one, which is Sugar Plum Fairy. And let me just roll Forever Autumn back up again. And this is Sugar Plum Fairy. So this is my kind of a festive sock blank. I used the colours from the Disney version of the Nutcracker for the Sugar Plum Fairy from the Disney version of the Nutcracker, because I really liked the combination of colours they used in that, and I really love how this has come out. I think I'm also going to dye this up, hopefully. I'm going to have a go at dyeing this up on 100g skeins and see how it comes out on 100g skeins, because I think it would be really pretty in not sock blanks as well. So that's my shop update stuff. I am going to be having a decent shop update again on the 24th of October. I was supposed to be vending at Glasgow School of Yarn the weekend of the 24th, 25th of October. And I'm not 100% sure yet what they're doing. They had said that they were planning some kind of virtual online alternative because the show itself won't be going ahead. But I don't have any details of that yet, so I'm not sure. But I am working towards having some kind of shop update that weekend regardless. I'm working on some self-striping. I've got a couple of new festive self-striping colourways that are going to be coming out then. And I'm also working on a new yarn collection, which I'm going to do in mini skeins too. So that's quite exciting. It's quite fun. And yeah, that's that. So that's everything kind of yarny related. I was just going to finish off quickly with a little bit of life news at the end, because we have exciting life news. As I mentioned last week, we'd put an offer in on a house, and we were very lucky that our offer was actually accepted. So yeah, really exciting. So our offer has been accepted, and all we need to do now is secure a mortgage. Our mortgage application went in yesterday, so fingers crossed. I don't know how long it takes. They've said maybe 3 to 4 weeks, but I'm kind of hoping, do we get confirmation that they're going to accept us? We just need to fill all the paperwork in and sooner than that, and then the paperwork takes longer? Or am I spending 3 to 4 weeks panicking that we're not going to get a mortgage? I don't know. But yeah, really exciting. So the people who are currently in the house at the moment, they are moving into a new build, and their new build is due to be finished kind of the end of November time. So hopefully we should be in our new house for Christmas, which will be really exciting, and might make a quite fun Vlogmas series if we're in the process of moving house during the beginning of December, but that's all fine. So yeah, that is exciting house news. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, we're one of those couples who just got stuck in the renting trap, and we rented in London for 6 years. And obviously that just made saving for a mortgage completely impossible. So yeah, we've always been kind of stuck in that renting trap of not being able to save enough money for a mortgage and all of that kind of thing. But we're finally there, you know. We've only been married for what, 12 years in April, and had 2 children, and we can just about afford to buy a house now. Oh dear. Oh well, we're nearly there now. So that was that. And then the other thing I was going to say is it does sound like our holiday is going to go ahead. I mentioned that me and the boys, not Tom because he still has to work, but me and the boys are heading to the Lake District next week, hopefully. We have got a cottage rented, and my parents are joining us at the cottage as well for the week. We've been following really carefully all the new restrictions that have been introduced in various places, and there's a little bit of difficulty with the difference between Scotland and England, because actually in Scotland households aren't allowed to mix, but we won't be in Scotland, we will be in England, and I'm kind of the opinion that you follow the rules of the country that you're in. So while we're in England, we'll be following the rule of 6, and there will only be 5 of us. So that is less of an issue. So, and households are still allowed to mix in England. So the fact that we will be staying with other people shouldn't be against the rules, basically. And we are, as I said, we've got a cottage, we're renting a cottage for the week. So we're self-catering. We're not planning on going to pubs and restaurants and all of that kind of stuff. Our kind of plan for the week is that we're going to go out and do some walks and go and see some of the countryside. And then also just spend time at the cottage, giving my parents a chance to spend time with the kids. So yeah, hopefully it'll be okay. Forecast is for rain for most of the week, so we'll probably spend a lot of time at the cottage. But I was planning to vlog our holiday. I think what I will do is I won't do like daily vlogs because that's a lot of work and I want to be able to enjoy my holiday. But what I will do is I will try and get little bits of footage throughout the holiday, and then I'll compile them all into one holiday vlog, which will probably be about 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. And I will upload that when we get back. But that obviously will mean that there'll be no podcast next week because I won't be at home. So yeah, you'll have a little bit of a gap. Anyway, I'm really rambling this week. So I need to go and dye some self-striping yarn and get on with my work day. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And I will see you again, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, with a holiday vlog and also a podcast once I'm back. Whew. Right, thank you for watching.